Today we're making some plum crumble. The first time I heard about this was in Ireland and I fell in love with it completely and immediately, and I'm going to show you how to make this. Get some plums, obviously. Make sure there are no seeds in there anymore, they're washed. Mine are from this autumn and I just had them frozen, so I'm using my frozen ones. You can use fresh or frozen, it doesn't really matter. So you put a layer of plums in here, as much as you like. You make sure you spread it, the whole bottom should be full of this layer. And you're adding some juice, so I'm using some orange juice that I made myself. You can use some lemon juice or lemon zest if you want, just to mix it in, whatever you prefer. And I'm also adding some brown sugar in there. If you don't have brown sugar, you can also use normal sugar, caster sugar, whatever you like. So I'm just adding a little bit here. Make sure it's not too much, because it's gonna taste a little bitter if it's too much of the brown sugar. And you just give it a quick mix around so it's kind of spread. If you find little lumps like this one, you just crush them. The plums will produce enough juice for the rest to keep this kind of moist. So if it's not really moist or not really wet right now, it doesn't really matter, because the plum juice will come out in the oven. By the way, make sure that you preheat your oven. Preheating always on the highest, like 350 Fahrenheit, or I have it on gas on the highest setting, whatever you're using, Celsius maybe, I don't know, 200 Celsius or something. Okay, I think this is mixed enough now. Now I'm just making it in kind of even layers. The next thing we want to do is make the crumble, and the crumble is completely vegan. It does not have any milk in it for those who are allergic to milk or anything. There's no egg, no milk. So I like to have a lot of crumble, so I'm using a lot of flour. I'm using about 200 grams of butter. That's probably about a cup if you are in America and you don't have grams. It's about a cup of butter. So just put that in, and you can either go in with your hands immediately and just crumble it together, or you're going to use some electric mixer with dough hooks. Before I mix the crumble, I'm going to add some sugar, and again, it depends on what you like. If you don't like it too sweet, don't add too much sugar. So now the next thing depends on what you like. I'm going to add some vanilla sugar. You can also add vanilla essence if you have that. If you don't like the taste of vanilla in your crumbs, then don't add it. I like it a lot. Your butter should be cold in this recipe, so it's really crumbs and not a dough in the end. As you can see, it's not really coming good together, and that's why I just decided to do it with my hands in here. You just want to spread all the butter. Basically what you want to end up with is a consistency kind of like sugar cookie dough. Okay. Right now I have these lumps that are exactly like sugar cookie dough, and we wanted a little bit more dry, and that's why I added more flour than I would add for sugar cookie dough. Okay, I have a few lumps in here, but I also still have the flour, and I'm just going to knead it all in. And it's fine if it stays a little crumbly, like if it's not coming together perfectly, that's just fine. Because it is supposed to be crumbly, okay? So we just do it as well as possible, but if it's not coming together like a dough, that's perfectly fine. It's crumble, not dough. Okay, this looks about right. You see it's still very crumbly. When you touch it, it's like falling apart. And that's exactly what we want. So now, I'm again adding something optional. I like raisins. So I'm going to add a few, just on top, one very small layer. And after that I'm going to crumble on top my crumble mixture. Once it's down, keep it down on there because it's going to get wet, especially if you have fresh fruits in there. This is not going to add too much taste, but it's going to add a really nice crunch to the top. And it's also going to add a really nice color. I like a lot of blah 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 blah. Damn you, dog. The keep blah blah blah, keep. Thanks. Damn it. No!